Hey everyone, and welcome back to Geek Studios. Thank you for joining us today for our mini charge episode. As always, I'm your host Joel, and today, Wednesday, April 29th, 2026, we are going to be chatting about the evolution of EV fast charging. Today, we're looking at a massive shift in the EV world. We have moved past range anxiety now that most cars get us to where we need to go with the right amount of mileage. In 2026, we've entered the era of charge anxiety. It's that feeling of pulling up to a station and seeing every single stall full. Or worse, seeing drivers arguing over who's next in line. A recent report from Teslarati just highlighted exactly how the heavyweights are fighting this. We have two different philosophies playing out right now. On one side, you have Tesla, the established king, using high-tech software and virtual queues to manage the crowds at its charging locations. On the other side, you have BYD, which is trying to end the wait entirely with something they call flash charging. Today, we're going to break down the virtual queue that just launched, the physics defying 9-minute full charge from BYD, and, with a little sweetener, how the IONNA rechargeries are finally bringing some dignity back to the American roadside. Let's dive in. All right, so let's get started with the big news from Tesla this week. If you have ever been to a busy supercharger station during a holiday weekend or a family fun trip in the summertime, you know that chaos that can happen at those locations, especially in populated cities. People parking at weird angles, icing spots, or just general confusion about who got there first and who's next in line to charge. Tesla's modern approach is surprisingly invisible. They've just rolled out a virtual queuing system integrated directly into the Tesla app and the vehicle's UI. So this is just for Tesla cars. Here's how it works. When you're within a specific geofence radius of a busy supercharger, the car automatically checks you in. You get a number, just like at a deli counter or if you're picking up your Walmart grocery order. The screen tells you exactly how many cars are ahead of you and gives you an estimated time to plug. But the real magic is in the new AI-powered forecasting. Tesla just revealed they've trained a machine learning model on over 9 million miles of vehicle trajectory data. Why? To solve the mixed use problem. Think about a supercharger at a Tesla, grocery store, or Buc-ee's. Historically, Tesla's system couldn't tell if a car was pulling in to charge or just pulling in to buy milk. This led to inaccurate wait times. Now the AI analyzes your specific driving patterns as you enter the lot, the way you turn, the speed you're maintaining to predict your intent to charge. They've reportedly cut their wait time estimation errors by 20%. This is amazing. This is what we want AI to do for us. Tesla's bet is simple. We have the most stalls, so we just need to manage the flow better. So I'm interested to see how this actually plays out in the real world with the Tesla software and the Tesla car. So this is going to be something interesting to see and monitor. So that is what Tesla is doing. Now let's talk about BYD and the nuclear option that they have coming out of China. See, BYD has a very different philosophy. Don't manage the wait times. They just want to eliminate them. Now remember, we're talking about China now because you can't get any of these cars in the United States. BYD recently unveiled their second generation Blade battery paired with, wait for it, and we've talked about it on other episodes, 1,500 kilowatt flash chargers. Let that number sink in. For context, a standard Tesla V3 supercharger peaks at 250 kilowatts. BYD is pushing 6 times that power. In a real-world demo this week with the YangWang U7, the car went from 10% to 70% in 5 minutes. Yes, 10 to 70% in 5 minutes. It reached 97% in 9 minutes. So 10% to 97% in 9 minutes. That's just astronomical. This is a game changer. A 9-minute stop is essentially the same amount of time it takes you to fill up a large SUV with gas and pay at the counter, use the bathroom, grab a candy bar. If you can move cars through a stall that fast, you don't need a virtual queue because the line never has time to form. So how are they doing that without melting the battery? They move the 1000-volt architecture and new proprietary silicon carbide chips that minimize heat. Plus, their flash charging stations use a zero-gravity T-shaped pulley system for the cables. Because these cables are liquid cooled and incredibly heavy, the pulley makes them feel weightless, so anyone can plug them in effortlessly. It's amazing technology. BYD is planning to install 20,000 of these stations across China. Let that number sink in. 20,000 stations across China. This is even the better part. By the end of this year, with a global rollout starting in Europe later this year. So while Tesla focuses on software and BYD focuses on raw speed, the IONNA network, that the joint venture between giants like BMW, GM, Hyundai, and Kia, we've talked about them on this episode, is focusing on the human experience. So 3 different approaches here. They just hit a milestone of 100 rechargers in the US. These aren't just chargers in a parking lot. They are dedicated hubs with lounges, high-end restrooms, and actual staff, or they're starting to partner with gas stations like Casey's and Wawa's and recently Circle K to provide charging at those locations. What's interesting is their technical approach. IONNA is deploying 400 kilowatt stalls that are what they call future-proof. They feature both NACS and CCS connectors from the jump. It's about a 60-40, 70-30 split. Most of the connectors we are seeing are CCS. And because they are partnering with places like Circle K, they are focusing on quality dwell time. The data from early 2026 shows a dissatisfaction paradox. Even as charges become more reliable, driver satisfaction is actually dropping because people are tired of waiting in the dark, sketchy parking lots to charge their EVs at 10 o'clock at night. IONNA is betting that if you provide a clean, safe lounge with good Wi-Fi and coffee, or an established gas chain to charge at, a 15-minute charge feels like a break, not a burden. So we've touched on 3 stories today in our mini charge episode. We talked about the new Tesla queuing system. We talked about BYD flash charging and how IONNA is kind of changing the whole charging experience. So the question for you is, who wins? Tesla still holds the crown for sheer scale. They have over 35,000 stalls in the US alone. Their software-first approach is brilliant because it works today on existing infrastructures. You don't have to wait for a new battery to benefit from a shorter queue. But BYD is showing us the future. The flash charging specs prove that the convenience gap between gas and electric is officially closing. If you can charge in 9 minutes, the entire argument against EVs for long-distance travel evaporates. But the main question, or the elephant in the room that no one talks about, is will we ever see this flash charging outside of China and here in the US? That's what we have to wait and see. For us, the US drivers, the competition is the best thing that could happen. We have said, Sebastian and I, on this podcast for about 3 months, Infrastructure is starting to catch up with demand. 2026 is the year where we're going to see demand slow, but we're going to see infrastructure take off, which is what we need. We need infrastructure to catch up with EV demand. So whether it's an AI telling you which stall to take or a charger that finishes before you can finish your espresso, the wait is finally coming to an end and more reliable EV charging is available on our interstates and roads. All right, that's your mini charge episode for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and consider becoming a paid member. It's just $5 a month and you get early access to all of our content while also supporting our channel. Huge shout out to all those people who have paid memberships. Thank you all. It really means a lot to us. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio podcast, tap that follow button and leave us a quick rating and comment. It really helps our show grow. As always, thanks for watching or listening. And as always, stay charged and stay geeky. Goodbye, everyone.